session. And we're down to do a roll call, if we could please.
Actually, that was a bit.
We are skipping.
Mr. Kirby.
Here.
Mr. Wright.
Here.
Mr. Lopez.
Here.
Mr. Hennis.
Here.
And Karen. Here.
So if we could, why don't we go ahead and move down to fall athletics and activity update, if we could please. I see young man, Mr. Randy Robbins out there.
Yes,
Randy
very good.
Robbins.
And what I'd like to do, since you called out Ms. Robbins, you may go first, please.
All right.
Oh, sorry. So we're gonna have a Spartans go first, please.
Kids first, right?
Yes,
Yes? Okay,
Yes.
that's me?
yes.
Not sure. Hi, good evening. We're here to talk about the Spartan Athletic Activities Advisories Committee. They brought it to Mr. Grigg, actually brought it when he was AD. He went to an AIA meeting and they said it's called SLAC at the AIA level. And they asked each high school to create a SAC committee to go to a summit at AIA, and they're having problems in all school districts getting students to go to athletic events. School spirit seems to be an issue in the valley here, everywhere. School spirit, attendance, students supporting each other, so the whole idea was kind of like they started volleyball, and you go to a football game, football players would go to a volleyball game, and that's kind of how they were like, let's make this committee where the athletes support one another. And so they're gonna give a little more explanation on what that is, but that's initially how it was brought to me. And they asked for representatives from the school. We started in 2020, and then we didn't have nothing in 2021, and here, well, the second half of 2021 and 22, and these are our leaders, part of them. I'll let them go.
Hi, I'm Sophia,
Hi, I'm Ariam. Hi, I'm Sebastian.
and then there's three of our members who couldn't be here. Emilio, Dan Arbella, and Liliana. So basically, what we do as SAC is we focus on bringing all of our members of different sports and clubs to try and bump up school spirit and try and get them to give opinions on how to better our competitions in sports. We focus on communication and leadership skills and wanting to reach out to the community on how we can better our own. Like when people come to watch football games, what they want to hear, what they want to see. Here is our theater skills and cheer team. They're part of our club, and we encouraged others to go see the play or go watch the football games. These are some of our posters that we had made. This is them hanging ready for our football games, and then we had even hung them up at a volleyball game for our student sections, so they know where to sit. We had a baseball camp where the community could come in for 2 days and they could learn drills and different techniques and overall just get a feel of how it is with our own baseball team.
So SAC is basically made up of student leaders, club members, and athletes. The students are to provide insight for the rules, regulations, and policies that affect the lives of those in the NCAA member institution and universities. And last year, we attended the online SLAC Summit, which introduced the goals and missions of SLAC, which are to create opportunities for students to learn and develop to their fullest potential, and to develop traits such as responsibility, perseverance, and leadership. These right here are some of our SAC members, and they are going to play professionally in college in the future. And this right here is our cross country team showing our school spirit at our Spartan Fest parade.
You got a Spartan over there on the side. So do you use the Spartan at the beginning of each year, or how do you get to be a Spartan? So it's like Wilbur and Wilma, or you don't know? Just checking.
Some people usually volunteer, but usually we have the Spartan show up at school events like the sports. So at football games, he's there to hype up the crowd. Very cool. Band is also very vital because they provide our school spirit. And they're also able to hype up the viewers at sports games, and they boost the morale of the players, which is very important.
So our club is composed of around 50 members, and they vary from school leaders, team captains, and presidents. And during our meetings, we really try and focus and emphasize on leadership, school spirit, peer support, communication skills, and what it's like to really be a Spartan. Back in December, we made a float theme with the Senate workshop theme and spent around 2 to 3 days working on it and planning to make sure it was perfect and presented it during the electric light parade. SAC, NJHS, and cross country helped us with the float and provided school spirit in our community. This is our volleyball team. Unfortunately, they were not able to play many home games because our gym was down and needed construction. But now, during the winter season, we hope to help our basketball team and motivate them to do better with our new gym. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. We were just there the other day, the new gym is pretty close.
It's complete. We had the first, we had the first game, yes, on Monday.
Excellent.
Thank you, I sure appreciate it.
Good job. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. And very short notice, they put together this. As you know, we're transitioning with our administration that we hope to solidify this evening. And then now, Mr. Robbins, please share us about Culinary.
Well, that's a tough act to follow behind you.
Okay, hold on. Karen.
How does this thing work?
She's gonna set you up.
Please help me.
Dave's in his little world over there, so.
What do I do here? All right, please do.
There we go.
Which button I touch?
Right arrow.
And then you have to go back left arrow.
That's it.
Right arrow?
Yep, right arrow.
This one, okay, all right. Board President, members of the board, it's an honor to be here tonight to talk about our upcoming, fall sports and activities, really is. All right, I know how to work that. All right. We currently have about 43 clubs and that are on school operating, but for the past 15 months, with COVID, it was kind of tough. So basically for this first semester, we just started spending our time getting reacquainted, recruiting new members, and kind of reestablishing ourselves. That's kind of what they did this first semester, was to get reestablished and get their fundraising goals and get their objectives and what they want to accomplish. That's kind of what they did this first semester here. But one of the clubs that we had going on is, the Students for the Exploration of Development of Space. That's a lot there. So these kids are this is a club run by Mr. Morris, he's the sponsor. These kids they're awesome. One of the things couple of things on this slide that interest me that I'm curious to hear their analysis. They talk about investigating and develop legal guidelines for human expansion into the solar system. I'm curious to see what they find when they do their research. I'm gonna ask that question. And they also have a study group proposal for an Earth, Moon, Mars infrastructure and economic system. I'm curious to see what they're gonna come up with on that one. Here we have Girls Who Code. These are, programmers, just females who like computer programming. That's what this club's about. We also have a group of kids who, I believe that's near Tucson. They're the space research team that we have. This was a trip that they were on. Also, we have another one, this is a Lunar expedition team. And there's some of the objectives that they do. And this is, I believe, in Colorado. So, also, I'm excited about this one because we used to have speech and debate a while ago. Now it's reestablishing itself. You know, Mr. Mav, this is one of his clubs that he likes, and so we finally got a sponsor. So we reestablishing that. And on the 14th, they're gonna do like these big questions thing down to Olaski. So I'm excited about that. We're starting this back up. We also have a bilingual and multicultural club that's starting up. One of the things that interests me about this club here is some of the things that they want to do is they want to connect their own experiences with others around the world. And they want to learn about diversity, which is good in our current climate. They want to learn about diversity and being able to sort of let's get along. So that's kind of one of the missions that they have. We also have a dance team. They're like a competitive dance team that they go around. These are some of the performances that they did, that they're able to do. But they're more geared toward the spring. They got big, huge competitions coming up in the spring, our dance team. They're very competitive and they do a very good job when they're out competing. Now we get to athletics. You know, for our fall sports, you know, with COVID, we did a good job rebuilding, and I also felt we did a good job competing. You know, we had a couple kids in cross country and swim making the state playoffs, which was good. We also reestablished the boys golf team, which was gone for 6 years. We had it when I first came back, then we stopped, and now we reestablished that. We also started a freshman tennis team, you know, which is good, which will feed into our JV and varsity. So we have a freshman tennis team, which is very new this year. Now we have our band, you know, hey, they play second and state. You know, Mr. Heather does a great job with the band. They play second and state. In this picture here, you see the band playing. This is at the end of the game. The band always plays the fight song. The spirit line leads the cheer, and the players are singing the fight song. This is something that Coach Barrow, you know, instituted a while back when he got here. This is what we do after the game. So if you're at the games and at the end, you'll see the band playing the fight song and the players singing. These are some of the awards that the band won. Like I said, they're awesome. I put them in athletics because they practice harder than anybody. Yeah, that's the hardest working program on campus, you know, is band. You know, they're out there all the time, all day, even in the summertime. These are some of the awards, you know, first, second, a lot of first in a lot of different categories. So they do a great job. And well, you know, our state championship football team. Yeah, and you know, that's the golden ball that the football team brought home to Casa Grande. And with that being said, I want to introduce our football coach, Coach Jake Barrow. With these, if you went to the playoff games, they were awesome. They were 4 different type of games. You know, they all left you on the edge of your seat. These kids did not disappoint at all. So they were, it was an amazing run. And how many years, Coach? 7?
For me,
70 years?
for the championship?
For the championship?
71.
71 years. You know, since now the Golden Ball's back in Casa Grande, and so I'm ecstatic about it. This picture here, this is my favorite picture of all time. You know, it beats the drive in Denver with Elway. I mean, that's the number one picture for me, because when you look out on that field, when I was out on the field and I saw the stands field from the end zone to end zone with that. That gave the kids a lot of motivation. And they were very, very excited to see, those fans in the stand. I just saw the smiles. I was on the field and I saw their smiles on their face, and they did not want to disappoint at all. And maybe, Coach, you can probably add to that, or?
I mean,
Come on up, Coach.
just very briefly, the goal when Randy hired me 7 years ago was to make Casa Grande Union High School the best place to participate in football in the state of Arizona. And in 2021, we were. We were the best school in the state of Arizona. We won the whole thing. And this is the perfect slide for this, because you're not able to accomplish that without tremendous stakeholder involvement. And it starts with the community. It goes up through your students, your student athletes, your staff, and then the school board at the top. So ultimately, I just want to thank all of you guys for your support, giving us what we need and always being the backbone that our students can build off of, the foundation that our students can build off of, because this doesn't happen without that. The crowd you see there, we were the 4A game. After us was 5A, 6A, and then the open division. The next night, I went to the open game and I sat with David Hines, the AIA executive director, and he told me that we had the biggest attendance by far. We outdrew everybody. And it was specifically our side. It was incredible to see that. As I left the stadium, walking to the parking lot, I was stopped by 6 different families. One was from Delaware, one was from Florida, 2 were from Texas, I think they were related, and then a couple from like New Mexico, California area that came specifically for this purpose. So thank you for your support. It means a lot to a lot of people. And our students are just so fortunate to be able to experience this. And I'm grateful for the opportunities you guys have given me. Specific thanks to Mr. Robbins for bringing me here, Mr. Matt for his support, and Dr. Battle for your leadership and mentorship this past year and through the future. I mean, we have a good foundation to continue to build on. So thank you very much.
One quick question. There was a young man who caught the really deep ball.
Yes.
Kind of came down hard right there at the very end of the game and came out. Just wondered how he was doing.
He's doing good now. He separated his shoulder on that last play. He held on to the football, which was impressive. which was impressive because that was the shoulder that was separated. I remember running out to the field and I kind of thought, those of you that have seen Jerry Maguire, it was maybe one of those Rod Tidwell things where he's laying there just embracing the moment. But no, unfortunately, he was actually hurt. But it was an easy recovery, 10 days in a sling, and he's back to new. He's doing great now. He's some dad. We have 11 players that are going to sign NCAA scholarships to play at the next level. He's one of them, and they're all excited for that right now. Signing day is in 2 weeks, and should be a really big deal on our campus. So he's one of those kids that's going to have college paid for. Yep.
Jake, very much. Thank you very much.
Share with the board the GPA of the team and how they did academically.
Highest team GPA we have ever had. It is a 3.42 right now. I mean, we talked about, let's see, out of the 11 players that are going to sign NCAA scholarships, 9 of them would qualify just on their academic merits, with football taken out of the equation. No players were ever academically ineligible out of those groups and out of our junior and senior groups. And it was just a tremendous year all the way around, not just on the football field.
That's very good. It's got to be a package. I mean,
Absolutely.
You cannot have the athletics without the academics. Otherwise, you will not get the offers.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you very much. You did an amazing job.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, in closing, it's a great day to be a Cougar.
Yeah. We're down to item E, which is the budget timeline presentation. Gina?
Now I have 2 big X to follow.
So while they set that up, I wanted to make sure that, you all know, I'm very proud of our finance department. The team has been trying to put together for us relative to the current year. And so what she's going to do right now, while she's going to go through the list, there's multiple people that are a part of this process, including even more. So I just want to thank her for her work. She's going to be in front of and or communicating with you all because we have one board meeting a month in my board communication. So tune in to that section as much as possible so that we can keep you apprised of where we are, because it will look a little different, inclusive of some things she'll talk about. So just wanted to give you a heads up about the importance of definitely all of my information, but specifically the financials.
President Hennis, governing board members, Dr. Battle, thank you for allowing me time to speak tonight. In an effort to enhance our transparency and increase the community's understanding of how the budget is developed and different elements that are impacted by the district and the budget, we would like to propose this following budget development timeline. And as Dr. Battle said, it does include multiple departments and a lot of staff to come together and collaborate and gather information. We have both internal and external factors that we will take into consideration. And, we're looking at current enrollment as well as fluctuating enrollment, whether we're going to increase or decline. Luckily, right now we're increasing. We also look at any legislative decisions that are going to be passed by the state. And hopefully, the goal is to come up with a budget that's going to have input from students, staff, community members, and include everybody in this process. So as you look at the timeline, some of the dates are out of order right now. That's because we are trying to get things rolling this year. But as we move forward into next year, we should start some of these processes more closer to November, December timeframe. And then we'll also be meeting with each department and the sites to get input and find out what their needs are, so that we know what to move forward with as far as department and site budgets. If you can see here, we will be, we take measures as far as contacting the elementary to find out what our 8th grade enrollment is going to be for our incoming freshmen. We look at growth factors, our teacher experience index, budget inflation. Then all this we go into meet and confer. Do you want me to go through each line?
So moreover, unless you all have questions, I will include this also in your board communications so you can have it at your leisure. And if you have questions, then.
And as we proceed in the process, I know we'll be keeping you informed of decisions that are being made.
Yes.
That looks great. And I think Dr. Battle and I talked about it at some point that we'll do a board kind of retreat day where we can kind of walk through budget before things get too far down and see what, our interests are for this coming year and ticket items and just in general where we're headed. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind that we'll be doing that at some point.
I think this is a good idea that been long and needed to come from our finance. In the past, we've been handed monthly budgets, a lot of information for us to try to digest and figure out where the money is going. For typical lay people that are on this board who do not have a lot of financial experience, it can be a little daunting the first couple of years of being a board member. I think Dr. Battle and I have talked about this also, and kind of the finance department breaking it down to give us the key things that we can look at in the financial reports to come back with a better judgment of where the money's going and provide more detail as it goes along to satisfy those kind of things. So thanks for moving on with this. This is well done. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gina.
Thank you, Gina. Appreciate it. Anything that you have the board agenda review is if you had a chance to look at the board agenda. Are there any questions or issues? And I think in the board agenda specifically, there's I think Gina's kind of presented kind of cleaned up an abridged version or a Reader's Digest for some of the older folks in the group that might know it.
Yes, and I have to commend the work. I won't say what they said to me, but it was all respectful. But I think that based on your compliment of work and also board member Wright, we appreciate that. We do want to make sure that you all are given adequate information and realizing you don't have time. You have life outside of being board, and we respect that. So you have in your agenda 2 links to 2 documents that you'll see on a continuous basis, as well as Gina is prepared this semester, and that's what she planned to do, as we've had ample time to talk, weekly budget reports. So you'll see that, as you have questions, when we have our board meetings, we can be prepared for what you might need to see for the current year. Of course, the strategy will continue, given the input that you have, so that we can be sure that you are adequately informed.
No, there was, just looking at the templates, I mean, there was the 1 page or there was the 137 page sheet that you could digest if you wanted to. So it definitely was helpful.
Yes, thank you.
So, hearing no other, to come before this pre-meeting, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Henness. As you all have in your consent agenda and the personnel information, there's a couple of positions of gentlemen, so you choose to approve, that I'd like to have them introduce who they are and what positions they are from Vista, so you can put a face with a name. So let's first start with Mr. Jared Welton. Please come up. And Ms. Marrero, if you come stand by him, that'd be fantastic. Just talk a little bit about yourself, my friend, and what you get to do for us now, and what you just did, but really where you at with your goals, and I know your fire that you have in your heart for this.
Awesome. Yeah, board, my name is Jared Walter. I was originally an economics teacher at Vista, and then I was moved to behavior interventionist for the last 2 years. If approved, obviously, I'll be sliding into the role of assistant principal of student services, working with our ESS students, our ELD students, and some of our special populations in CTE. I came out here 7 years ago. I started at Casa Grande Middle School, and I'm just excited for the opportunity. I came out here from New York, so I'm excited.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. President, members of the board, Dr. Battle. My name is Miguel Marrero. I am going to be moving into the role of assistant principal of student affairs at Vista Grande. And I am looking forward to the opportunity to serve this community. I come from 2 comprehensive districts, Tempe Union as well as Phoenix Union, as both teacher, as well as many other roles that I've served in admin. And I'm just looking forward to bringing some of my experiences to a growing and wonderful district, and hopefully continue my growth here at Casa Grande. I am definitely a New Yorker at heart, but I've been here many, many moons, so, and I love Arizona. I'm looking forward to putting Casa Grande on the map. So if there's anything you need, just come and reach out. All right, thank you for the opportunity.
Appreciate you, gentlemen.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Henness, that's all I have.
All right, then we'll go ahead and adjourn the first part of this meeting, and then we need to give heads up to the. Do you anybody need about 2 minutes? Are you ready to jump into the meeting? Or?
I got 2 minutes.
I think we're going to get all the walk by Marion.
Okay.
2 minutes.
All right.
Dave, 2 minutes? You good?
Kirby?
Here.
Mr. Wright?
Here.
Mr. Lopez?
Present and accounted for. Thank you.
Mr. Hannah?
What Joe said.
Ms. Harrington? Here.
Thank you very much. If we could please, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the color.
Rifles, carry. Ready, cut. Forward. March. Color guard. Halt. Rifles, post. Counter march. March. Color guard. Halt. Present colors.
If you follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carry colors. Color guard. Post. Forward. March. Color guard. Halt. Order. Arms. Ready. Cut. Color guard. Stop.
If you would, please, if you would join me for a moment of silence. We have a lot of things that just kind of important to think about and be thankful for right now and say some blessings for some folks. Thank you. If we could please get a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
Second.
A motion by Kelly and a second by Chuck. Any other questions? If not, we will call for the vote, please.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Hannah?
Yes.
Ms. Harrington? Yes.
You have before you also the minutes from December 7th, 2021 as presented. Is there a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Second.
First by Chuck and a second by Taylor. Mary, any questions? If not, we'll call for the vote, please.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Hannah?
Yes.
Ms. Harrington? Yes.
Number 3 is we're down to organizational meeting and election of a board president. Kind of whatever the board wishes to do.
Make a motion for President Jack Hennis to continue on into 2022.
I second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second for to maintain myself as the board president. Mayor, will call for the vote, please.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
I think we're lucky to have Mr. Hennis as our president last year. He guided us through some very difficult waters. He showed the experience that a well-seasoned board member is supposed to show. And I believe we can all agree that we're in a better place this year because of some really good leadership. So I look forward to another year of 2022 that we can get a lot accomplished, and my vote is yes.
Mr. Lopez?
I second that emotion, yes.
Mrs. Harrington? Yes, I agree as well. And Mr. Hannah?
Yes, and it's all dependent upon the board. And we're very fortunate with the group of people that we have here. And the number one thing we have is fantastic staff and great community support. So it's just our responsibility to to rise up to that and get things done. Item B is election of President Pro Tem. I would make the motion. Joe, are you willing to continue as President Pro Tem?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll move to nominate Joe as President Pro Tem.
I'll second the nomination.
There's a motion and a second, Mary. We would call for the vote, please.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Hennis?
Yes.
And Mrs. Harrington? Yes.
The current slate is our current board legislative representatives. That is Chuck.
Yes.
Yes. Chuck, you still interested in keeping that?
Got it.
Okay, we need to get some of the young blood here moving in some of these things. And that stuff too. They do a wonderful, I tell you what, we are very fortunate and blessed to have the folks we have on this. Taylor brings a wonderful perspective. It's truly, as a teacher, and Kelly, obviously with kids and family and community belief and representation here, we are truly, this is a well, good quality board, and luckily lots of fun things to work towards. But
Well, for now, I nominate Chuck to continue in that.
there we go. That's what I wanted. I'll second that.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Hennis?
Yes.
And Mrs. Harrington? Yes.
Item D is just to establish the day and meeting time for 2022. This isn't something we have to give to the county, is that what that is?
Yeah, so you either keep the current or if you choose to change.
I assume we're just maintaining, it's the first Tuesday, depending upon what's holidays, et cetera, of the month.
Yes, sir, and truly, if how you all, the rhythm you want to meet, once a month is fine, and or if you choose to do something different, please let me know.
I think the times and the issues will, decide that for us. If we're, and you have always been with this board. If you call, we call. So we're ready at any moment, so. So Mayor, we need a motion to
To maintain the first Tuesday at
maintain
6:30.
the current meetings, monthly meetings and time frame and dates as presented.
I'll make a motion to maintain the current meeting days and times as presented.
I'll second.
A motion by Kelly and a second by Taylor. Any other questions? If not all those, then Mary, call for vote, please.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Hennis?
Yes.
And Mrs. Harrington? Yes.
We're down to item A, Dr. Battle.
Yes,
Student of the month, best part of the evening almost.
Yes, sir, and it's my pleasure. Let's go ahead and start with what school, and then you guys like to see who gets up first. Let's have Mr. Matt start, so Mr. Walter can see what he does.
I just thought we'd break them in quick. It's my pleasure to be in front of you, Board President, Governing Board, Dr. Bell. Always a pleasure to recognize our students each month. We have 2,000 something amazing students, and it's never an easy selection. But this young man stands out. Unfortunately, I don't think Hunter is with me today. I was looking around, I didn't see him sneak in. Hunter Scholes is our January Rotary Student of the Month. Let me just highlight some of the amazing things he's done. Hunter is the son of Martin and Jamie Scholes. Hunter's earned an impressive 4.732 GPA, and that becomes more impressive when you hear some of the different things he's been involved in. He's a team captain and plays on the varsity team in the following sports: swim team, wrestling team, and tennis. Hunter is also very involved in clubs on campus and in the community. Hunter's a member of the Casa Grande Youth Commission, Casa Grande Union High School Link Crew, and National Honor Society. Hunter's future plans include attending one of the three main academies, Air Force, Annapolis, or West Point, which all are impressive, and certainly appreciate his willingness to serve. He plans to major in biology and wants to help people in need as a military physician. His accolades continue. He's served as a lifeguard, provided swim lessons, also has done football and track periodically throughout his high school career. And I found intriguing, did the 48-mile hike rim to rim in Grand Canyon in under 20 hours, he claims. Now, I want to watch that. But, that's pretty impressive. And then even more so, and I think what's dear to my heart, is he's volunteered at a number of different activities, particularly Special Olympics, where he's worked with students with different needs to help them feel part of the community and to feel successful in their own rights. Please share with me in recognizing Hunter Scholes as our January Rotary Student of the Month.
All right, Mr. Board President and the board, Dr. Battle. At Vista Grande, we too have amazing students. It's always hard to select just one for Rotary of the Month. This month, for the month of January, we've selected Chloe Mcqueen to be the Rotary Student of the Month. Chloe is the daughter of John Mcqueen and Tiffany Mcqueen. She's participated in almost anything that's been available on our campus at Vista. Just to highlight a few, she's been a part of the Spartan Elite Dance Company. She's the co-captain of that this year. She is a SAC member, which was presented to us earlier. She's earned the Academic Excellence Award for 3 years. It'll most likely be 4th. I know she is currently ranked in our top 10 or 5 of our entire senior class. And she was previously a Link Crew leader, which Link Crew is a group that helps tutor students, shows them around campus when they're new, really students helping students. Some of her personal activities and accomplishments, she volunteers with the Black Box Foundation's Youth Theater Program. She's attended and passed the Dolphin Island Sea Lab Residential Marine Science course, very impressive, and participated in multiple theater and dance productions. Chloe plans on studying marine biology. She hasn't decided what university she wants to go to, but her top choices are the University of California at San Diego or the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Her biggest goal is to work for a marine science research team to help fight against species loss and environmental degradation. May I present to you, sadly she's not here, Chloe Mcqueen as the January Rotary Student of the Month.
You know, something that we did in the past when kids were not able to have kids here, that was kind of a neat thing was when you had, not video, but you had a little bit of a deck presentation with pictures and some of their highlights and stuff like that. That might be, you know, just as a, you know, kind of a backup that was pretty good before when they did that. I'm just throwing it out there.
Sure. Well, thank you very much. We're definitely will talk to the administration to see if we can do that. So thank you for sharing. So I believe now we have Ms. Lewis, who's going to talk about our CTE students. Thank you.
Good evening, President Haddad. Congratulations, President. Board members and Dr. Battle. Thank you for the opportunity to once again present excelling CTE students. Tonight, we're going to recognize Culinary Arts Program. And this evening, from Casa Grande Union, I have Sean Price. And his parents are here, his grandparents are here. His mother is Rebecca Romo, and she's with us. So he brought the whole family. So we're super excited to have everybody here. And he was nominated by Mr. Kevin Curtis. And I would like to share the words with you of Kevin, or share with you what Mr. Curtis has said. Sean is a quiet leader in the classroom, and his work ethic and attitude sets the standard for the entire class. He always goes above and beyond expectation in and out of the classroom. He's involved in every extracurricular activity, whether it's catering, leadership conferences, or culinary competition. He has true passion for all things culinary and experiments outside of class on new concepts and recipes. Congratulations to you, Sean.
It's mom up here to get his pictures too.
Grandma.
Mask on or mask off?
Quickly. Hold your breath.
Good.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations. I'll give it a quick drive-by.
Congratulations.
There you go.
Congratulations, Kelly.
And I want to take one look around, Bill. All right, so I have one student from Vista who has been unable to attend this evening. And unfortunately, his teacher was not able to attend this evening either. But Mel Fields from Vista Grande and Ms. Kim Raines has nominated him. And his mother is Tiffany Taylor. And she has some really kind words to share about her student. Mel has been a valued member of the Culinary team for 3 years. He was always very involved in the labs, pitching in to do his part, kind and respectful to both staff and students. But it is the growth that I witnessed in Mel his internship year that moves me to recognize him. He has taken initiative to not only meet the demands of the internship, but has gone above with his interactions with the introduction students in the class. He can be found personally assisting students who require extra support. While in the classroom, he supports students individually, monitors whole class project on assignments, and assists me at the most timely moments, especially when we began the year without an instructional assistant. He is serving as the president of our FCCLA chapter and has attended leadership training this fall. It warms my heart to be witnessing Mel's growth as a young adult in a leadership role. She wishes she was here. I'm going to paraphrase, but she wishes she was here. She apologizes that she was unable to attend. And I am going to take you up on your suggestion that when we realize we don't have a student here, Plan B is going to be for everybody, whether we think they're here or not, because we don't know right now. So anyway, congratulations, Mel.
Dr. Battle, we're down to the superintendent's report.
Yes, sir, thank you very much. So a few things. One, we started the semester off with our professional development day, open day, very productive, lots of great things scheduled and planned. And I think for those of you that were able to attend, give a little snapshot of that, I appreciate it. It just set the stage to do everything we can in teaching and learning. Additionally, kind of coupling what Gina shared, registration is up and running. We're already showing good numbers. We're making sure the online registration is rocking. The sites are planning for a showcase so that we can show off all the wonderful things that you get to hear about in board meetings, but that our community may or may not know exist. As we know, people have a choice to go to which schools they want to go to. So we're making sure they know where to go, what's happening. It's just going to be a whole lot of fun. We may need to be creative and flexible for some reasons, but the date, as we have it now, is January 20th. So feel free to know that you are very, very welcome to attend that. We also are going to be interviewing our Vista principal, and you will see some invitations of some date, I should say, from Ms. Reynolds very soon. It may be also included in the board communication. We'd love to have you at the open forum meeting that will be organized that the community, students, staff will be in attendance. We'll have questions in advance. They won't get them, but any other finalists. But we plan on keeping that boat afloat and moving accordingly for next year, anticipation of next year. I would say that, moreover, we recognize and not to minimize the complexity of what's happening in our environment, but I need to rest assured with you as a board that we're doing everything we possibly can to ensure that we did not compromise the learning, as we may have to pivot here and there to do something different to accommodate families. That's really important. So again, I will be communicating with you all as need be, even outside of the board communications, so that you are aware of what it is we will plan to continue to do sorry, Mr. Wright, that we need to do to ensure that our, we keep expectations high. So I just want to make sure you are aware of that and the community is aware of that as well. Mr. Hennis, that's all I have.
Yeah, Dr. Bennett, just so that all know, there's a little bit of information I have right now about some schools within Gas Grande area having issues and going to virtual.
So yes, sir, thank you for asking. We are aware that, for days that have been communicated. And what we are going to do, I've met tentatively this evening, based on the information with leadership here that's present. And I have to give, credit where credit's due, that they've already got some ideas and of how we're going to address it. We will attend to it and make sure we provide for our families. We have the technology and also the system in place. Again, we've been planning for pivoting whenever we need to, and also to ensure that our kids are in school and the instructional time model that you have already approved. So we'll enact as we need to. And I believe that, and nor will we be upset or stressed, or we're ready to do the best we can do. That's all we can do. And then we hope that things will calm down and everybody, including our own kiddos, will be in school.
Thank you very much. Do we have one call to the public this evening? And we normally read, there's a,
Yeah, it's under public comment. There's a whole, person too.
Yeah, would you go ahead and read that, Kelly, to it, please?
Pursuant to the ARS,
30-431-H.
The governing board may take an open call to the public during a public meeting, subject to reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions, to allow individuals to address the board on any issue within jurisdiction of the governing board. After the open call to the public, individual members of the board may respond to criticism made by those who have addressed the board, may ask staff to review a matter, or may ask that the matter be put on a future agenda. However, members of the board shall not discuss items that are not specifically identified on the agenda. During the open call, the board requests that speakers refrain from voicing complaints against school personnel or any person connected with the district, as it may impact due process rights. Policies KE, KEB, KEC, and KED are provided by the board for disposition of legitimate complaints, including those involving individuals.
Thank you, Kelly, very much. So, and Scott, I want to pronounce your last name correctly, so please don't let me butcher it. Scott?
It's Molia.
Molia?
Yeah, the G is
Okay,
silent.
Scott, we normally give about 3 minutes
Okay.
of time, and this is not specifically on our agenda for this evening, so the board really won't, and normally we don't answer from the dais anyway, but take it under advisement and pass it on to the superintendent, but you are more than welcome to speak if you would, please.
Okay. Thank you very much. My name is Scott Molia. I am a parent of a Casa Grande Union high school student. And I'm coming here tonight, and thank you, board, for allowing me to speak today. I'm just a concerned parent regarding the upcoming calendar year schedule for the district. My goal is for you as a board to hear my concerns, and that I'm not alone in this concern, as other families share this with me. In prior years, the start date to the school used to be, somewhere around August and in the end or beginning of June. And lately, as of the last few years, the district has elected to shift the schedule with the most recent schedule next year starting in the end of July. The issue that I have is that this shortened summer break it's going to impact my son's ability to get a summer job, potentially a summer internship. And because most of the internships that we have found typically run in August or July and August. So with him having to come back to school that early kind of takes that, away from him. So It also creates issues with families that have family reunions and in just my experience seeing other school districts across the nation, they align closer to having, family reunions or having different activities that go on in the July and August months. So by having everyone come back so early, they're kind of having to miss out on those or potentially, go with their families and miss the first, beginning of the school year, which could turn out to be not so good for the students. I'm opposed to having the 2-week fall break and 2-week spring break, just because going through it this year, I know that my son still had schoolwork and sporting activities with the school that he still had to attend. So even if we were going to try and, plan a vacation for that 2-week period, it wouldn't have worked out for us. Now I know those are his, elected activities to do, but it still kind of limits our ability to, take that time off for me as, being able to take time off work, et cetera. And so I'm just asking the board to reconsider potentially aligning the calendars in the future to what is more, what I would consider normalized, to where they start in potentially mid to late August, early September, and then end, at the end of May, potentially early June, and then still have the longer summer break so that the kids will still have the opportunity to do those activities that most kids did, like when I was in school. So I just appreciate your guys' time today and thank you for listening to me.
You bet. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
your time and coming this evening.
Thank you.
We are under item 7, matters reserved for board action. We have second reading of board policy, JJJ.
Yes, sir. That's our eligibility update and revision, and moreover, it really describes what it means for an activity and athletic person to be eligible. So we updated that, including exhibit. It shows when a kid is in warning and then when he is actually going to be eligible, he or she.
This just kind of clarifies some of it was kind of ambiguous in the previous, and this just kind of tightens it up to explain what your actual intent of the revision JJJ was supposed to be.
Yes, sir. So whether or not can pass or no pass, pass or no play, excuse me, pass or no play.
Okay. We need a motion to approve the second reading of district policy or revision to JJJ, extracurricular.
So moved.
Second. There's a motion by Chuck and a second by Joe. Any other questions? If not, we'll go ahead and call for the vote, please.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Hennis?
Yes.
Ms. Carrington?
Yes.
We are down to item B, which is superintendent's contract. Dr. Battle, we were fortunate to find, came in here on an interim contract. We removed that title here back about 3 months ago. 4 months ago. It was a year ago. Back in 2021, not November. At the end of October, 1st of November, I believe, right in that time frame. Then we, at that point, entered into negotiations on a contract, and we have been fortunate to, over meeting over the time, to come up to a contract that was in the best interest of both the district and Dr. Bell, and to give her, looking at she'll finish her interim contract, the contract is with the interim tag removed, will finish in June, correct?
That's correct.
And this contract will start and will be a 3-year contract returning from that point. So would like to make a motion on that or any discussion, et cetera, before we make a motion? You're more than welcome to.
I make a motion that we approve Dr. Battle's contract with Catherine Union High School District for 3 years. I believe she has been on display for the last how long has it been?
7 months, sir.
I believe she's been put through a pretty darn good test. Well, since she's been here, she's probably She probably just thought we were a bunch of old folks and
I can take this mask off right
now. Seriously, I think she jumped into a situation and she knew what she was getting into, but she took over quite willingly and expertly. And even from the first day that she came in here and interviewed with us, she showed, at least to me, I believe she showed to all of us, that she was the most serious applicant that we were gonna get in this process. We had some good ones, but I think right from the start, she was very business when she came in here. She had a report, she had all those things that we needed to look at. And then she said about doing things that I don't think this board has seen a superintendent candidate move into as quickly as she moved into in her first 5 or 6 months here. I believe she took the bull by the horns. I say that literally because I think she was very serious about us accepting her and wanting to do the right thing, but she had her mindset on the thing that she wanted to do and the way she wanted to present it. That was very impressive because I think a candidate might be a little timid coming here and just trying to make sure she was in the right place. She wasn't like that at all. She hasn't been, and I don't think she will continue to be there. But I think she's very, very confident that she was doing the right thing, and she guided us and moving us into this position that we are today. Coming out of COVID and still struggling to get out of COVID, but we needed a lot, and I think she sensed that, and I'm happy to be able to say this, that I look forward to another 3 years with her. So make a motion that we approve it.
There's a motion, is there a second? And Kelly discussion, Kelly second, any other discussion? I'd just like to say we appreciate you coming in, getting to know the district, taking a moment to kind of to get a feel for what's going on, doing kind of your own self-audit, getting to know people, and then really we're putting together a strong staff, looking at what we need to do to go forward and to improve for the kiddos during definitely challenging times, and to decide, to see what the challenges are, creating better relationships with other districts, and just really working towards making the opportunity for the kiddos and the community of Casa Grande to have the best chance in education. So I'm just thankful, and I'm thankful for the board that we were able to find a good quality person. So thank you.
So I speak now, or actually go? No, so this is what I'd love to say. One is, I tell you, this season in my life, I know I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and I'm so glad I get to do this thing with all of you. We're here for the kids, and I'm glad to be a part of it. It is quite difficult across the country and world, quite candidly, as what we're trying to accomplish in classrooms and in schools. And I strongly believe that we're creating a culture that we're learning about how best to accomplish that. And I want to thank you for the wonderful team that I get to work with on a regular basis, the ones that we have and the ones that, we're going to work towards the building of our talent. And I can't say this enough, the support that we have from you is absolutely important, and I thank you. So I'm really looking forward to 3 and more. Stick a fork in me in whatever year. I love doing what I'm doing, and I'm ready to ride this thing with us all. And we'll see constant growth in what we do in teaching and learning every day. So I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the experience, I appreciate the relationships, and I appreciate the planning of what we're going to do together collectively with teachers, staff, students, and you. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So we'll go ahead and no further. Mary, call for the vote, please.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Hennis?
Yes.
Mrs. Harrington?
Yes.
Rob, I guess, and Rob's probably got a contract in his briefcase back there somewhere. We'll dust that thing off and sign it at some point, quickly. We're down to item C, which is donations. We have multiple donations here. If somebody'd like to, read that and approve that.
Sure. I'd like to move to accept the following donations. $500 from the American Legion to Vista Grande Baseball. $2,000 from the Arizona Diamondbacks Foundation to Vista Grande Robotics. 2,000 KN95 masks to Casa Grande Union High School. That would be 1,000. And Vista Grande High School, another 1,000 from APS.
Those are awesome. And so we have a motion by Joe. Is there a second to accept the donations as presented?
I'll second.
Motion by Joe and a second by Kelly. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote, please.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Hennis?
Yes.
And Mrs. Harrington?
Yes.
We are down to item 8, which is the consent agenda. We have items A through I believe.
I'd like to move that we remove item A for separate item A out of the agenda.
Okay, so we want to get a motion to approve items B through I.
I motion to approve items B through I.
Motion by Taylor and a second by Joe to approve items B through I as presented. Any other discussion? One thing that was really good in there is, Gina, the budget, the short piece and then the long piece are definitely, those are, and I know you mentioned that before, so those are really very handy as a quick glance to see something like that. So I just want to say thank you for that. Mayor, call for the vote, please.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Hennis?
Yes.
And Mrs. Harrington?
Yes.
We're up to item A, personnel. Was there something specifically, Chuck?
Yeah, I do not believe I can vote yes on the personnel because I don't have enough information on some of the classified candidates here to make a qualified vote. So I'm gonna vote, I make a motion, well, I make a motion to, best thing is somebody else makes a motion to approve this and I'll vote how I want to vote.
That's great. I mean, if you have specific questions, I think we had, in the past, you had the opportunity to.
Yes, and I've
reach out specifically to the HR representative because there's certain things that are somewhat private.
Yeah.
That are not,
HR.
board issues. So I guess that's the question. The only question I have is, on that is, is that you specifically reach out to HR and get your questions addressed if you could, please.
Okay.
Well, I have a question on that. Since Chuck is objecting to approving the personnel that we have listed here, is he required to identify those particular people, or are we going to turn it back to personnel to handle that? Yeah.
So at this point, Mr. Wright has, after you go through, you need to continue to move forward, but to ask the question generally speaking, you might pull what I heard Mr. Wright say was the classified folks, I think is what I think I hear you having. If you'd like to separate it to certified, classified, and vote accordingly, that would be one thing you could do. But moreover, and all due respect to the process, it's 4 votes, possibly.
Okay, this debate has been going on a little while on the last 3 meetings about me personally needing more information on classified candidates than just the name of the candidate and the rate of pay that they're getting when we have, the other certified candidates who are providing the resume to us and at least telling us a little bit about them. At the last meeting we had, I had some discussion with HR, and they provided me with some background of the classified people. And I had expected that to happen this time, and I didn't get anything, so that's why I'm attempting to vote no here. So I was trying to, I believe you were involved in trying to work with HR to provide me with information on the classified people, so I would have a little bit of idea of what they were about rather than just their name. I believe they deserve that with the board, somebody that's coming to our district who wants to work for us and do a good job. I believe they deserve the board know a little bit about them rather than just their name. I think it's important. We know the names of the certified ones and where they come from, what school they went to, all those kind of things. Why is the classified as a secret employee that we know nothing about when they're providing some big responsibilities and taking care of our campuses? I think it's important that we know that maybe know some of their skills. Where did they work before? What is their job experience? We know that with the certified, how many years of education they have. Why cannot we get the classified people at least know, well, we learned it, 5 years for Hexel or something like that. Why can't we see that? But if you're not gonna provide me with that, I'm gonna continue to vote no on.
That's great, and we appreciate that, and I think here's the thing, and specifically as Pam, on these, what we see, so that there's no secrets. There have been reference checks done, there have been background checks done, there have been fingerprints done, et cetera, for these different employees. So there's nothing secret about this. There's specific questions, I think, that on some of these, I think you are more than welcome to reach out and contact Pam. I think she kind of addressed that last time, but whatever you, and I think the rest of the board, we kind of visited about this, about the amount of detail that was required on some of this. And every board member has the exact right, like you do, Chuck. If you have a question specifically to reach out and ask. So anyway, go ahead, Pam, you bet.
So you're referring, Chuck, to the classified. So are you indicating that you would like the applications or resumes for the mobile tutoring and the attendance clerks?
Well, last month you provided me with a summary of each one of those candidates that you wanted to provide me information, and you gave me a 2 or 3 line summary of what they were about, and I told you that's what I liked. I said that'll suffice, and I just assumed that would be something that you would provide every time for these candidates. So that's the agreement I thought we had. And so I thought we made it. I thought I voiced my concern enough with the superintendent and with you to know that it wasn't a one-time shot. I would like to see it every month for me. If you don't want to provide it for everybody else, but I'd like to see it for me. And that's still what I like to have. So, if we can do that, that'll be fine. If we don't, I'll just vote no.
That sounds great.
That's fair.
And that's easy enough.
I don't think that's fair to the candidate.
And that's a great request. So Pam's right here, and the information has been done, so
Absolutely.
that's an easy request that, I think it's a known fact now that Chuck would like the information for the balance of his time. So I think that's, and if there's a question, please reach out to Chuck, or Chuck, I hope you would also, because we can't all read minds.
Well,
So I'm just saying, if you have a specific question on individuals or something like that, you're more than welcome. Pam will give you as much information as correct for a board member to have. I think that's fair for both of us.
And hopefully next month we can make sure this happens.
Okay,
And if I might, Mr. Hennessy?
Sure.
So I want to thank you very much for that clarity is really important, and I believe that we heard that that's what you liked, and I think that this happened, then there had not been a call out. Like,
And again, I can't hear you very well.
I'm
either.
sorry, I mean, remove this, they should let me know. Is that you did reach out last time, and so that's when Pam reached out to you, so I think what I just heard you say is that you don't want to necessarily reach out, you want that to be a part of our regular routine. And so, Mr. Reynolds and I will talk about that and definitely want to accommodate the best way we can. I just think that it didn't happen this time to get here from you. So our
Okay.
apologies, and moving forward, we will do that.
So from here on out,
Yes, sir.
if you just want to provide it to me and make it a regular routine, that I'd like to see information on whatever classified employees that are new.
And thank you for that. What we'll do is we will make sure that all the board gets the same information.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Be our pleasure. Thanks.
Okay, you have item A, personnel, as presented. Is there a motion to approve that?
I motion to approve the personnel items as presented.
I will second.
A motion by Taylor and a second by Joe. Any other discussion? If not, Mary, call for the roll, please.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
No.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Henneth?
Yes.
Ms. Harrington? Yes.
Seeing nothing, no other items to come before the board tonight. It is 7:30 and we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening. Appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you. You too.
Oh, yeah.